another hard problem from Leetcode. Problem number 601, human traffic of stadium. We are given with the stadium table. It contains ID, visit date and people. Visit date is the primary key for this table. Each row of this table contains the visit date and visit ID to the stadium with the number of people during the visit. No two rows will have same visit date, and as the ID increases, the dates increase as well. We need to write a query to display the records with 3 or more rows with consecutive IDs, and the number of people is greater than or equal to 100 for each. And then we need to return the result table ordered by visit date in ascending order. Let us understand this problem with one example. If you look at the stadium table here, we got 8 rows with 8 different ID and 8 different date and the number of people for each date. If you look at the ID 1, it got 10 people. So 10 is not more than 100. We cannot consider this row. Consider the row number 2, 109. It is more than 100, right? The next consecutive number of people is 150. It is more than 100, right? And the next to next is 99. But 99 is not more than 100. So we cannot consider the row 2 in our output because there are no 3 consecutive number of peoples with at least more than 100. Now coming to row number 3, it got 150 people. Yes, it's more than 100. The next row is 99, but it is not more than 100, so we cannot consider row number 3. For row number 4, 99, no, it's not more than 100, so we cannot consider row number 4 as well. If you consider row number 5, 145, yes, it's more than 100. The next row is 1455, yes, it's more than 100. The next to next row is 199, yes, it's more than 100. So we got a condition where at least 3 consecutive number of peoples are more than 100. So we can include 5, 6, 7 in our output. If you consider row number 6, 1455, it's more than 100, and 199, it's more than 100, and 187, it's more than 100. So we can include 5, 6, 7, 8. So if you consider the unique number of values, we'll be taking 5, 6, 7 and 8 in our output, because these are the rows where the consecutive number of people are more than 100 for at least 3 rows. So this is the problem statement. I have created a detailed statement for you and I will put it in the description box. You can make use of this statement. You can run in your local system, play around the data and keep practicing. Before writing the query, let's try to understand the logic, how we can solve this problem. So one thing is like for each row we need to find what's the next day of data and next to next day of data. And similarly for each row we need to find previous days of data and previous to previous day of data. So what I'm trying to tell you, if you consider the row number 1, the date is 2017-11, the number of people is 10, right? The next day number of people is 109, next to next day number of people is 150. Similarly, for the row number 1, previous days, there is no previous day, right? So previous day is null and previous to previous day will be null. If you consider row number 2, the current day number of people is 109, next day it's 150, next to next it's 99. So for 109, next day is 150, next to next is 99. And same for 109, previous one day before is 10 and previous to previous it's null. For row 3, current day people is 150 and next day 99, next to next 145. So for 150, previous day it's 109 and previous to previous is 10. Let's take 109 and 10. If you consider row number 4, current date it's 99, next day it's 145 and next to next is 1455. And similarly for 199, previous is 150 and 109. 150 and 109. If you consider row number 5, current date it's 145, next day it's 1455, next to next it's 199. And similarly for 145, previous is 99 and 150. The same goes for row number 6, 7 and 8 as well. So once we frame this table, what we need to do, we need to check at least greater than 100, right? So current day, if the current day number of people is 145, which is more than 100, next day it's more than 100, next to next day it's more than 100. So we can take these three as consecutive IDs where the number of people are more than 100, so we can include 5 in our output, right? Let me put 6 as well for better understanding. 199, 188, 145 and 99. So for row number 6, current date is 1455, next day it's 199 and 188, and previous is 145 and 199. If you look at the row number 6, current is 1455, next is 199, next to next is 188. These three are more than 100, so we can include row number 6 in our output. If you look at row number 7, current date it's 199, next it's 188, next to next it's not there, so it's null. For 199, previous it's 1455 and previous to previous is 145. If you look at this condition, 199, next day it's 188, next to next is null, so we cannot include the next 3 consecutive dates, right? But let us consider the previous consecutive rows. For 199, previous it's 145 and previous to previous it's previous is 1455 and previous to previous is 145, right? So current it's 199, previous days is 1455 and previous to previous it's 145. So now we are considering it in the backward direction, and ID 7 has got the consecutive number of rows where the number of people are more than 100. This is the logic that we'll be using to solve this problem. To find the next day and previous day, we'll be using lead and lag function. So those are window functions. So now let's try to write a query. Let's start with our CTE base data. Let us select ID, visit date. Let us name this visit date as current day number of people. If we want to find the next day, we need to put lead of people. Lead of 1 will give the next day, next row of number of peoples, right? This will make it as day 1 people. We'll use the same lead function and put 2 here to get the next to next row, day 2 people. For finding previous, we'll use lag function, lag of people. Lag of 1 will give previous row. Let's name this as previous day 1 people. Similarly, lag of people 2 over, we'll name this previous day 2 people from stadium table. Let me select the output from this base data. Here if you look at it, for the ID 1, as we previously discussed, the current day is 1 and the day 1 people, current day, okay, I have not included the current day people. This should be named as current day people, and let's name this as current date. Current date is a keyword, so let's name this as that. Good. If you look at it, for this ID 1 and for this day, the current day number of people is 10, the next day it's 109, next to next it's 150, and previous 2 are null because this is the first row. For day 2, current day is 109, next day is 150, next to next day is 99, and previous day is 10 and previous to previous is null. The same goes for other rows as well. Now what we need to select, so we need to select only the rows where 3 consecutive elements are more than 100. It could be either current day and day 1 and day 2 should be greater than 100, or current date, previous day 1 and previous day 2 should be greater than 100. If these condition matches, then we'll be printing the ID and date and current day people. So here what we'll do, let's select ID, current day, let's choose current date and current day people. Our condition should be where this current day people should be greater than 100 and day 1 people should be greater than or equal to 100 and day 2 people should be greater than or equal to 100. This is one condition. Or this current day should be greater than or equal to 100 and previous day 1 people should be greater than or equal to 100 and previous day 2 people should be greater than or equal to 100. This is the condition. Now if you try to print it, we will be getting ID 5, 6, 7, 8 in our output, where the number of people are more than 100 for at least 3 consecutive days, and this is the output that we need to print. Hope this helps.